Hey, guys, it is Carmen again. I am responding to some questions that I had regarding Skywest training, as well as what's going to happen once you finish with training. So I'm not going to make this a long video because, our attention span is not that long. Plus, I am on a 4-day trip, day 2, and I have to be up at 4 a.m. in the morning. So once you arrive at training, day 1, you're going to have a mixer in the lobby, in the hotel lobby, meet your other classmates, get your room assignments, go to your room. You'll see other classes that are there, some about to graduate, some been there a week or 2 or 3 before you, and everybody, is going to tell you what's going on, what to expect, and all that good stuff. So you'll go to your room and put your things away or what have you. And the next morning, the shuttle will pick you up, and you have some pretty early mornings, and sometimes you have some late evenings. So I would suggest strongly eating and going to bed on time. And please, 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 please make sure you have all required documents that they ask you to bring, especially day 1. Day 1 is going to be so long. I mean, you need to have your identification, you need to have your passport, you need to have your social security card, you need to have your watch that is required, you need to all the documents in the book that they ask you to bring. They're going to check all that day. They're going to do a tattoo check. And when I say a tattoo check, they're going to check your fingers. They're going to check your neck. They're going to check, your chest from, this area right here, your neck right here, your wrist, your arm. If you have them on your legs or your foot, that's fine because you can wear pants and you can wear opaque tights even with skirts. But I will say that eventually on the Delta side, we will be switching to the purple dresses, and Delta is not allowing us to wear opaque tights. We have to wear nude, flesh tone pantyhose, or you're not gonna be able to wear the dress. You're only gonna be able to wear the pantsuit. So they're going to give you plenty of opportunities day 1 to disclose any tattoos that you may have questions or concerns about. And when they say, okay, I'm going to ask you one more time, you need to get up and you need to go and show them. And there's plenty of people in our class and other classes that have tattoos, but they disclosed them and they only can wear certain uniform pieces. So just don't try. It never fails. I don't know not one class that has gone through that somebody did not get sent home from day 1 because they failed to disclose tattoo. And please don't listen to the people who are saying, oh, just cover it with makeup. No, they're going to use a flashlight, so don't even try it. Honesty is the best policy. I swear it will save your life. My experience as far as roommates go, talk to your roommates. Say who wakes up early, who sleeps late, who takes a shower in the morning, who takes a shower at night, who cooks, who doesn't cook, who snores. Get all that stuff out, and just know that the people who you room with day 1 may not be your roommates day 2, because people do get sent home the next day, and then they'll end up switching you to another room, or they'll end up bringing someone else new in. It changes constantly. Dress code. Be professional. You don't have to wear a suit and tie, every single day, but you do want to be business casual. Your shoes need to be in compliance. I would not wear no stilettos because your feet are going to be killing you. You're going to be standing up and doing a lot of walking. Me and a lot of my classmates, we wore the same thing over and over again weekly, and we have washer and dryer in our rooms, and we washed, but packing all that stuff you're not going to need. We just rotate. I went to the thrift store and I bought like some dress shirts and some slacks, and I rotated, and I had jackets, and I'm not a dress person, so I had trouser socks and flats. I was very comfortable. You're going to be sitting down, getting up, walking, doing drills, and you want to be comfortable. It's not the time to try to be just all cute every day. That's going to get very old, trust me. Make sure your shoes are in compliance. People have gone home for shoes that need to be, what the book says. You don't have to go out and buy you any flight attendant shoes per se. Just get you some black pumps that are comfortable, or some black flats that are comfortable. If you wear navy shoes, you need to wear navy hose. You can't wear black on navy. What else? Nothing sheer, lace, see-through ladies skirts. Don't come in there they will measure. They will pull out a measuring tape and measure your skirts. So I would be mindful of the dress code during class. Now at the hotel, when you're on your own and you're not studying, it's casual around the hotel, but do know that the hotel people watch it, and they will go and tell if you're out late, if you're missing curfew, if you're being loud, if you're starting stuff, they tell. So you're gonna have to be careful. Don't be around there. There's a pool. You can use the pool if it permits in Salt Lake City. You have to have stress relief, so you need that time. There's a liquor store in walking distance. There's a couple of restaurants there's a few restaurants in walking distance. So excuse me. So just enjoy it, but please study and take the time out to study. So after the 31 days of training, which is very, 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 very long, 31 days. You're going to, bond with people. Some people you're not going to get along with. I say stay away from all the mess and stay away from all the drama, because it's just unnecessary, and just do what you need to do and worry about you. Don't worry about, she had her phone out, or she did this, or she said this, or she's been friends. Worry about you. Worry about you. If you just worry about you and not what everybody else is doing, you'll do fine. Study, pay attention. They're not really big on notes, so you don't have to take a whole lot of notes, but they'll tell you what you need to know. There were moments when I know I cried and doing a drill, because you're so stressed out about memorizing these things that you have to remember. So it's not easy. It can be very stressful. So you want to, minimize your stress and stay away from all unnecessary drama. After graduation, of course, and people have been sent home day of graduation. The day of graduation, in their uniform, sent home. So don't think that you're safe, because no one is safe. We found out our base, my whole entire class got sent to Chicago. We found out 3 or 4 weeks after graduation. And my first trip was, I graduated May 11th, was June the 6th. And it's called your IOE, which is Initial Operating Experience, and you will be on one of the jets, of the 3 or 4 jets that we fly, and you'll be with a lead instructor. I'm not gonna lie, my instructor made me cry on day either 1 or 2, because to me she was so intense, and her teaching methods did not mesh well with my learning methods. And everything that you learn in training, which is on the ground and on paper, when you get in the air, is totally different, because now you're trying to remember what you learned on paper and actually put it into motion in the air. You've never been on this aircraft before. You don't know where everything is. You don't know where this is. You don't know where this is going. Everybody is different, and so it was kind of like really stressful for me, but I passed it. But there was a moment where I thought that I wasn't going to. And then soon after your IOE, you can put in your first transfer request. You may not get it. I've been putting in a transfer request since then, and I haven't got my transfer request yet. I'm still in Chicago. There's like 100 people ahead of me before I may be able to become a line holder. So don't know how long that's going to be. I'll give you an idea about a schedule. So for September, I have 8, 9, 10, 11 days off. I may work like 6 days straight, have 1 day off, 5 days straight, 1 day off, 6 more days straight, 1 day off, and then I have 8 days in a row for the first time ever. And then I work the rest of the month. After those, 17th through the 24th I have off, and then the 25th through the rest of the month I work on reserve. My schedule for September is reserve 2, which is 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So that means I'm sitting in a crash pad, if they don't call me, from 9 a.m. in the morning to 9 p.m. at night, waiting for my phone to ring with a possible trip. If they don't use you, they don't use you. If they use me, they use me. Great. It's hard to pick up trips when you don't have days off. So for instance, this is August. I'm working a 4-day trip. I was in a 5-day reserve bucket, so I worked every day. Wednesday is my last day for my 5-day, and I'm off Thursday and Friday, but it's hard for me to commute home to Houston for 2 days. It's just not worth it. So I picked up, they call them stand-ups, but you know, some people call them red eyes. I picked up a trip Thursday night so that I won't have to sleep in a crash pad, and I'm going to stay overnight somewhere and then come back Friday morning and have the rest of my Friday off. And then Saturday I start September PM reserve for the rest of the month. So people say, oh, you know, you can pick up trips on your days off. When you first starting off as a reserve, it's very hard to pick up trips. It is, because you're working so much. You have so many reserve days. You may not have those days off, and then when you do, you want to go home, you know. So I'm gonna say what they say is true. The first year is the hardest. I remember it was 1 week I was on reserve and they didn't use me at all for 5 days. I did not get called for a trip, and I literally lost my mind. And that was my moment where I was going back and forth thinking, did I make the right decision? I left my kids for 31 days to get this job, and I'm in Chicago and they're at home. Is this what I really wanted to do? I felt guilty. I'm like, should I go back home? But you know, you're gonna go through those moments. We've all have had those moments, and I'm just looking at the bigger picture, knowing that a year from now or less it's gonna be worth it. Because I was sitting at home and I got laid off, and I was just working odd jobs here and there, robbing Peter to pay Paul, you know, and still broke. So I'm like, well, now, you know, I'm penny pinching and robbing Peter to pay Paul, but at least I can get on a plane, and my kids can get on a plane and go somewhere for free. Well, at first I was working all these hours and couldn't save enough money to send them nowhere. So that's my rationale. You just have to ask yourself why. What is your why? Why are you doing this? And then I'm 47, so I waited, you know, to get in this career. I have friends that have been flying for 30 plus years, and you know, they're making 65, 70 something dollars an hour, and this is their career that they've made, and they barely work and they're making a good living. They're going to retire from this. So if you're young and you're getting into this now, that's amazing. I don't know what to say, but good luck with training, and I hope this video helps. And if you have any questions, feel free to, you know, send me a message. I'm gonna, you know, keep up with my process, everything that I'm going through, being a new Sky Diva, and see how it goes. And I can't wait till I get in line. And I've traveled places that I've never been to before. I'm in Flint, Michigan right now. Never been to Flint, Michigan. It's not impressive, but I've never been there before, and I'm loving it. So good luck, guys, and remember to stay focused and don't give up, and I hope you have a great support system. Bye.